TheBlaze.com. Anyway, I want to start with what I thought was an interesting headline the Huffington Post ran yesterday. And it caught my eyes because it says the uniting principles that Glenn Beck should have talked about. And this is a story about, me saying, I wish I would have talked about more uniting principles. And I guess if I could have rephrased that, I should have said, I wish I would have found a way to cut through with the principles that we were talking about. So the Huffington Post, I'm reading this, and they actually proposed in this article launching a new movement of 10 values that we can all unite on. Launching a movement set on a set of values. That's a pretty good idea. It'd be great if somebody would do that. And in a completely unrelated story, the 5-year anniversary of the 9/12 Project, a movement based on a set of 9 principles and 12 values that we launched 5 years ago, is coming up in just a few weeks, and we'll have more on that. But I'd just like to say to the Huffington Post, please talk down to us some more. No, seriously, we love that. We do. We've been holding up values and principles. We have been trying, albeit imperfectly, to remind Americans about the things that do unite us. And there's a lot more that unites us than separates us. But too many times people aren't looking for the truth. They're just looking for a good soundbite for television. I have a prediction for you. I believe because the media is so unbelievably out of touch that there is a massive backlash coming, a massive recoil away from the nanny state and a reconnection with those real American values that the Huffington Post doesn't have to tell us about. By the way, the Huffington Post had to go to a research team at some university to figure out what those values were. The values and principles of the 9/12 Project, I wrote on the back of a napkin. I think they're pretty obvious. People are desperate for real values and principles.
Why do we work so hard? For what? For this? For stuff? Other countries, they work, they stroll home, they stop by the cafe, they take August off. Off. Why aren't you like that? Why aren't we like that? Because we're crazy, driven, hard-working believers, that's why. Those other countries think we're nuts. Whatever. Were the Wright brothers insane? Bill Gates, Les Paul, Ali. Were we nuts when we pointed to the moon? That's right. We went up there, and you know what we got? Bored. So we left. Got a car up there, left the keys in it. Do you know why? Because we're the only ones going back up there, that's why.
I have to tell you, I saw this ad. Now, this ad is a result of research. Somebody in an ad agency did a bunch of research and tried to figure out what can we use to sell cars. But that's how people feel. They have to do research. You already know these things. And people are tired of being talked down to or tried to be sold something by using those principles. I mean, this car company doesn't believe in those principles. This car company took your money in a bailout. They still haven't paid you back. And then stood behind the Congress and also the president and said, yep, you're right, we did pay you back. No, they didn't. It took 2 years to come out with the story because nobody in the media actually believes any of these principles. But they didn't pay you back. You lost $10 billion on that deal minimum. So they tell us lies, and then they tell you the biggest lie of all, that you can't do it. Our president was the literal son of a communist. He was born, his father was black, his mother was white. Not now, but when that wasn't done in America. He spent most of his childhood in Jakarta, where his stepdad had a small zoo in the backyard, and I'm not making this up, he would eat dog for dinner. That guy is our president now. If he can make it, you need a government to help you along, get off minimum wage. I mean, think how insulting that is. The guy who ate dog for dinner is our president, and everybody's cool with it. He made it. How come you can't? I mean, don't we need somebody to tell us, hey, you can make it? No, you don't need to raise the minimum wage. You'll make it. It's okay. Isn't it cool to tell somebody, hey, work hard? But no, our government is saying, you don't have to work hard. I'm telling you, yeah, you have to work hard. You want to move? I was broke in 1999. I worked hard. There's a lot of people, most people even in this company, won't work the hours that I have. Well, okay, it's my choice. All right. That's how it works. I mean, you talk down to people and say, hey, by the way, I'm going to have to just keep you, on the government dole for the rest of your life. If you say that to me, I'm punching you in the face. It's demeaning. But it is now what progressives are pitching. They're selling to America.
I mean, the fact is that if Americans could have more choices to open up a new business they've been wanting to start, this is a good thing. If you look at international comparisons country by country, Americans work way more than the average of industrialized countries around the world. And, we might want to look at our work-life balance, and this is something that gives us a great opportunity.
One of the reasons
He's talking about unemployment, saying that unemployment is good because you maybe start your own business, or you go home and make dinner and have dinner around the kitchen table instead of ordering out. I mean, that's a good thing, but that should be up for you to choose. Not because I'm all of a sudden unemployed. That isn't America. It's not. That is the co-chair of the Progressive Caucus. And progressives have overplayed their hand because 2 + 2 = 5. Water will wet you, fire will burn. That's just the way it is. I mean, everybody is doing a very good job trying to make it appear as if, hey, we're progressives, we're for the little guy. But let me show you the people who hate the rich. Well, they, get the rich. They don't pay their fair share. Here is Michelle Obama last night wearing a $12,000 dress. I don't care. You got $12,000, you must blow it on a dress. Blow it on a dress. I don't care. But don't tell me you're like the average little person and, you relate to them and you hate those rich people and you want to take their money for them when you're wearing a $12,000 dress and the poverty line in this country is $11,500. You got to be kidding me. Your dress is $500 more expensive than what people at the poverty line make in a year. And where were you wearing that dress? You were wearing that dress last night at a lavish party at taxpayers' expense. Famous performers, elaborate outdoor tents. They had this tent with the hanging frames because they had a garden. They wanted it to make it look like a Monet painting. Expensive lightings. Are you kidding me? And you hate the rich people? They were entertaining France's socialist president, who also hates the rich. And all the star-studded Hollywood were guests at the White House. The first course, they said, was going to feature American caviar farmed from the estuaries of Illinois, paired with quail eggs from Pennsylvania, and a dozen varieties of potatoes from farms in New York, Idaho, and California. Like you can't have one variety of potato. Who's sitting there going, oh, there's 12. I'm sorry, I don't eat potatoes unless there are 12 varieties. But they're just like you. No, they don't feel your pain. In many cases, the elites on both sides of the aisle are causing the pain. I mean, it is sickening, and I think people are fed up. Both the left and the right, the Republicans and the Democrats, the people that have voted Republicans and Democrats, they know. They know. I'm being lied to. This isn't right. We shouldn't be saying that you shouldn't have to work for things. I don't want to be French. If I wanted to be French, I would move to France. We need to be inspired. That's what a leader should do, inspire people to pick themselves up by their own bootstraps.